Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you watching. I am going to talk about something that we should all be vigilant about right now, and that is candidates for office, no matter what level, that are going to be placating themselves as fans of the Second Amendment. I am a strong Second Amendment supporter. We saw this 2 years ago when the Republicans who did win came off the back of Donald Trump, and then 2 years before that as well. And then they turned out to be like red flag Crenshaws, okay? Which brings me to this cat right now that is running to be sheriff of San Diego. Now, San Diego County is in California, and this gentleman you see here on the screen, his name is John Hammerling. Now, a real quick little bit of John Hammerling's background. His father was a retired cop of 25 years in Kansas City. Hammerling himself spent 30 years in the Marines, 7 years active, and 22 plus in the reserves. He has served in the Gulf War, and the war is in Iraq. He then was a San Diego police officer, where he also attended law school part-time. He's the former head legal advisor to the San Diego Chief of Police, and now works in the San Diego City Attorney's Office. Now, before I go on, I'm going to tell you that my buddy John Petrolino did a hell of an article over at Bearing Arms. Check that out, link down below in the pinned comment, because he's going to give you some more information than I'm going to give you now, because I want you to go to that article to see how old Petrolino asked him some pointed questions, and how you see this candidate's response. But this is the typical, I was military, I was police, I'm pro-Second Amendment, and I want to keep them bear arms and protect all of our rights under the Bill of Rights, that type of deal. Well, what he's not telling people, but it's being dragged out, is that he is a big fan, like a big, huge fan of red flag restraining orders, gun violence prevention orders in California. In fact, his area is of expertise in the city attorney's office in San Diego. Use them, they're right up there with one of the most in the country of using GVROs, gun violence restraining orders. I'm going to call them red flag from here on out, because each state calls them a little different just to make them sound sexy. In the article, Mr. Petrolino puts out an interview that Hammerling did with Gun Owners Radio. And I'm going to give you a little snippet from John Petrolino's article related to this interview. Michael Schwartz, who is the host of Gun Owners Radio, and Schwartz had asked him about his boss. His boss, the city attorney, is extremely anti-gun, showing up at anti-gun rallies, and what would make him, Hammerling, different from her, and what makes him pro-gun. And you can see Hammerling's response. Well, I think that, it's a good question, and I don't know if, and because I don't want to speak for her or some kind of strong Second Amendment feelings that she may or may not have, because I don't know. I don't know in her head, but I think that, like it's been said in a lot of places, that there's no unlimited right to the Second Amendment. So here's a cat who's saying, I'm pro-Second Amendment, let me flex this, I'm going to get elected off of this, and then he says, the Second Amendment is not unlimited. Yeah. Okay. Continue. Schwartz then says, here we go. That didn't take long. My specific question is, what do you think about gun violence restraining orders? You personally. Hammerling responded, I think gun violence restraining orders start to serve a good tool in the community. Schwartz then responded, yeah, that's what I heard about you. Listen, man, in no universe are you pro-Second Amendment. Not only do you support gun violence restraining orders, but you actually help implement them in other jurisdictions, right? Now, Hammerling was also a keynote speaker at an event put on by, co-sponsored by Brady in Orange County, UCI Law, and the UCI Law Initiative to End Family Violence, and that was the Saving Lives Through Gun Violence Restraining Orders event. So he was a keynote speaker in how good red flag orders are to help end gun violence and end suicide. And in fact, the city attorney herself, Mara Elliott, said, and I'm going to read this quote, she has said that he, Hammerling, was, quote, instrumental in creating the program, and that he's known throughout the state as an expert in the field who has led dozens of trainings across California for red flags. So this is a cat who's saying, I am a pro-Second Amendment person. I was a cop for X amount of years. I was 30 years in the military. I'm a Marine. My dad was a cop. And I know more about guns than you, which is why red flag's a good thing. Elect me as the sheriff of San Diego County. Now, you should be pissed off if you're in San Diego, and I want you to read this article. Again, it's linked down below and in the pinned comment. John Petrolino did a hell of a job. Way to go, buddy. And I also want you to read that article because John Petrolino himself sent some pointed, straight questions to Hammerling about his concealed carry permit policy that he wants to implement, as well as more about restraining orders, and you really should see his responses. Again, check out the article down below in the pinned comment over at Bearing Arms, and I'll tell you, guys and gals, if you live in San Diego County, you cannot vote for this clown. You cannot vote for him, because no longer will we let people in who are mostly good, mostly say they're pro 2A, but they're not. We have proof that this cat is not, and I will gladly point out any candidate who is campaigning as a Republican or a pro-gun candidate who has voted against the Second Amendment somehow, or who has taken overt acts in restraining or restricting people's Second Amendment. This cat right here is a huge fan of red flags. If you vote him in as your sheriff, it's an absolute mistake. If you continue to vote for him just because of whatever reason, then shame on you. You are not pro 2A. And that's the way it is. Sorry. Just like some other candidates that, hey, you know what? If you have a candidate that you know some dirt on them or how they voted, their voting history, let me know and I'll blow them up. Why not? But John Hammerling, don't vote for him for sheriff of San Diego County if you love the Second Amendment, because he's going to red flag everybody he can. Disgusting. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, community safe. And remember, a gun on your hip is better than a cop on a phone or a cop as a sheriff who loves red flags, because that would be detrimental. Take care, everybody.